welcome back to another session with Mr. Math. And today we will be looking at advanced quadratic equations, or rather factorization. So what this entails is where you have an expression with three terms, and it gets quite complicated because in the beginning of the actual expression, where you guys are used to having something such as the question displayed on the board, we will add a little value in the front of the x squared as represented over here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the discussion on the advanced quadratic factorization method that I'm going to conduct and that I'm going to teach to you. So first of all, there's a few things that you need to adhere to in order to be able to factorize the quadratic expressions fully. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is I'm going to put a quadratic expression on the actual board over here, and then I'm going to explain to you step by step what to do and how to go about solving this, because some of you see this and then you just freak out immediately. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to put down 21x squared. With that, I'm going to put 25x, and then I'm going to put negative 4. So here's term 1, term 2, term number 3 in this case. Okay, now first thing that you need to understand is that we are looking for this value, but you are going to use the factors of 21 and you are going to use the factors of 4 in order to get that right. So you need to go now and write out the factors for 21, but remember to put x in as well, and then write out the factors of 4. So this is how we do it. First of all, I'm going to do for 21, and I normally do this in a table, so I'll show you now how it works. So first of all, the factors for 21, I've got 1x, and right underneath it, I've got 21x, because 1 times 21 gives me 21. X times x gives me x squared. Then the other factors would be 3x and 7x, because 3 times 7 is 21, x times x gives me x squared. Okay, so those are the only factors, and the reason why I write them underneath one another is that they are pairs, because if you do not multiply them together, you will never get the 21, but I'll show you now how it works. Okay, with that, we are looking for the factors of 4. So the factors of 4 would be as follows. You're going to write 1 and 4, but now you always need to write the reverse or the reciprocal of 1 over 4, or rather 1 and 4, and that would be 4 and 1. Then another factor for 4 would be 2 and 2. So 2 times 2 gives me 4. Now, here's the table that I was talking about. If I put a line straight through, it would look like this. Okay, now we need to go and choose which pairs that we put together. So if you take the whole numbers over here and you multiply them with any of these pairs, which pair will give you 25x? And that pair is the one that you are going to utilize in order to get your factorization sorted. Okay, so if we're looking for 25, you need to find the suitable pair over here, one of these, and I can tell you now that it's not going to be it's not going to be 1 and 21. The pair that you're going to use is 3 and 7, so I then write 3x and 7x, and then I look for a suitable pair over here. But now remember, the method that you're going to use here is what we call the cross multiplication method. So the pair that you choose and that you write down here, you are going to cross multiply in order to get 25. So I'll show you now how it works. The pair that you will utilize will obviously then be 1 and 4, or rather 4 and 1, but you need to make sure that you write the correct values with the other correct pair. Okay, so look here. So I've got 3 and I've got 7. I'm going to choose 4 and 1, and I'll show you now. 4 and 1. Now we need to cross multiply. So if I go and multiply, and I say 7 times 4, that should give me 28x. If I say 3 times 1, that should give me 3x. Now I'm looking for 25. So in order to get 25, I need to put a little negative here. And if I say 28 minus 3, I should get 25x. And that is what I'm looking for. Okay? So now, this is how you go and choose what gets written in the brackets when you factorize. So, look here. What you need to choose now is we take the top part, there we go, and the bottom part. They go together. And remember, the sign that is written in front over here is the sign that you will be using in your brackets. So, over here, then we've got the following. So we've got 3x. There was nothing written here, so it means that this value was a positive. So it's going to be positive. We're going to put the 4 down, and then we close the bracket. There's your one bracket. Then the next one, 7x. There's a negative, so that negative goes into your bracket, and 1. And there's your second bracket. So, be very careful what you choose over here. And whatever signs you've got here needs to go in your brackets. And that is how you factorize it. Okay, we're going to do another one. So our next question I've got here is 12x squared. So 12x squared minus 11x plus 2. Okay, now we need to go find the factors of 12. Factors of 12 are as follows. 1x times 12x. There we go. Then 2x times 6x. Then 3x times 4x. They are all the factors of 12x squared. Now the factors of 2 will be 1 times 2 or 2 times 1. Remember, you always have to write the reverse down. And your initial thing or goal is to find negative x, or negative 11x rather. Okay, so you will now have to go and look which pair that I've got here will work with any of the pairs that I've got there in order to accomplish the goal of getting negative 11x. So, in this case, if you look at it this way, remember you need to cross multiply with whatever you choose over here. If I take 3 and 4 in this case, and I multiply 3 with 1, I'll get 3x. And I multiply 4 with 2, I will get 8x. If I make both of them negative, I'll get 11x. So look here. 3x, 4x, and I'm going to choose 2 and 1. Okay, so 2 and 1. Remember, I need to cross multiply. So 4 times 2 gives me 8x. 3 times 1 gives me 3x. I'm looking for negative 11, which means both of these need to get a negative. And negative 8 minus 3 gives me negative 11x. So there I've got my pairs now. Now I need to go and find what has to go into my bracket. So these two are going to be in one bracket, and they're going to use this sign. Then these two are going to be in one bracket, and they're going to use this sign. So at the end of the day, you'll have the following. I'm going to write it over here. So you'll have open bracket 3x minus 2, and you'll have 4x minus 1. And there are your two brackets for that question. Factorized, done and dusted. Okay, I'm not done yet. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 more questions, just to ensure that you guys know exactly what to do when you get to the work. Okay, so here we go. Next one is 24. Oh, what am I doing? 24x squared minus 10xy minus y squared. Oh, this one, you think this one's going to catch you a bit. Okay, so with regards to this question, you need to look at this as 1y and again 1y, because it's y times y gives me y squared. So we need to find the factors of 24, and then we need to find the factors of y. So first of all, 1x times 24x, then 2x times 12x, then you'll get 3x times 8x, and then obviously 4x times 6x, and then with the y squared it will be 1y and 1y. 1 times 1 is 1, y times y is y squared. Okay, cool. Now we need to look for a pair that will work with regards to whatever we're trying to accomplish, which is the factorization. Okay, now let's look. We are looking for negative 10. 1 and 24 multiplied with whatever's going on here will never give you negative 10xy. Okay, so you can scrape that one, it's not going to work. Then 2x and 12x might work, so we're going to leave it for now. 3 times 1 is 3xy, and then 8 times 1 there is 8, so it's going to give you negative 11, so this one's not going to work. 4 and 6, if you do that, I'm not sure. I don't think that's going to work. So let's try 2x, 12x. Okay, so 2x, 12x, and let's do 1y and 1y over here. Remember, we need to cross multiply to get an answer. So 12x, this one would give you 12xy, and this one would give you 2xy. Remember, x times y is xy. We are looking for negative 10, so you're going to have to make the 12 a negative. So basically what you do then is you say negative 12 plus 2, and that gives you negative 10xy. Okay, negative 10xy. So what is going to work here would be the following. So these two obviously go together, and these two go together. We use the signs that we put there in our brackets. So our brackets need to look as follows. For the top part, 2x, there's a negative, so negative 1y. And then for the next one, 12x plus 1y. And there is your, what do you call it? Your factorization completed, in order, done and dusted. Okay, let's look at the second last question quickly. And this one is 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. Okay, so for this, the prime factors would be 1x times 2x. Okay, for 6, it's going to be 1 and 6, 6 and 1. Remember, we always do the reverse, and then obviously 2 and 3. Remember, we only have one pair that we need to use now, or that we can use, so we are going to check which ones would accommodate one another using this pair over here. So if I then say I need negative 7, I'm going to use 1 and 2, and I'm going to use 2 and 3. So look here, 1x, 2x, and then we've got 2 and 3. So if I cross multiply, I'll get the following. So 1 times 3 gives me 3x. 2 times 2 gives me 4x. I'm looking for negative 7, which means I need to make both of them negative. And this would give me negative 7 at the bottom. Okay? Now, this pair goes together, and this pair over here goes together. So, in my brackets, I'll then have, I'm going to write it over here, x, remember the sign, negative 2, okay? And then the other bracket would then be 2x, remember the sign, minus 3. And there is your question factorized fully. Okay. Last question, and then I'm going to quickly write down all the steps for you to ensure that you know what is going on. Okay. So, last question. I've got 20x squared plus 24x minus 9. So, for the first one, the prime factors would be 1x times 20x. We'll also have 2x times 10x. And we'll also have 4x times 5x. And then obviously 1 and 9, 9 and 1, and then 3 times 3. So those are all your factors. Okay? Remember, they all work as pairs like this. Okay? All of them work together like this. Just to make sure that you remember what I'm talking about. So, now you need to go and see. We're looking for positive 24x, which is the second term in this quadratic trinomial. Okay? You need to now also go and look for a pair over here that works with a pair over there. The pair that I would suggest that you need to look at would be 2x and 10x. And that would be paired with 3 and 3 over here. So look here. So 2x, 10x, and then we've got 3 and 3. So 2 times 3 over here gives me 6x. 10 times 3 gives me 30x. I'm looking for positive 24x, which means I need to subtract 6 from 30. So I'll then have the 24x that I'm looking for. So if I put everything into perspective and I group them, so remember this goes together, that goes together, and remember the signs that was utilized. You'll have the following. First bracket, remember this makes your bracket, and then whatever sign you have here will be filled in there. So 2x plus 3, and then we'll have 10x minus 3 over here. And there you go, it's been factorized fully. It is not as difficult as you think it is, but it can be challenging if, number one, you do not know your times tables, and number two, you do not follow the steps as I've laid them out in this video so far. Okay, so first step of all the steps is to write your products. Okay, so I'm just going to clear this out and I'm going to write your steps down for you. So the first one, write the products of the first and last terms. Okay, you know I've done that. Okay? Then, one thing that you also should remember is to write the last term's products. In reverse. You need to write it in reverse. Okay? Let me just do this. In reverse, like I've done. If you have 9, it will be 1 times 9 as well as 9 times 1. Okay? You need to write it in reverse because it gives you options. Then, the third step you need to choose the product pairs. You need to choose the product pairs that you will work with. Fourthly, you are going to have to cross multiply. So cross multiply. The product pairs. Also remember to manipulate. So add in signs to get second term. So add in your signs to get the second term. Okay? And lastly, write out your brackets. And once you've written out your brackets, remember to use the signs. So use signs that you put in to get the second term. So you need to remember to use the signs that you put in to get the second term. So if you follow these steps and everything that I've shown you in this video, the advanced trinomial factorization, the advanced quadratic trinomial factorization will be a walk in the park, that I can promise you. Okay, so that is it for the quadratic factorization. I hope that this really makes it easy for you, and that you feel less stressed with regards to stuff that you do not or really did not understand when your teacher or your educator or whoever is teaching you taught you, and that this makes it easy for you, because the whole idea for this channel is to make everything easy for you and to make sure that you have something that you can fall back on when you either have to do exercises, study, prepare for exams, or whatever. If you have to go and look back on things, maybe you are in varsity and you're studying something that requires this channel is solemnly aimed to assist you in any way possible, to ensure that your productivity is at its max and that your knowledge grows. So once again, thank you for tuning in. We do really appreciate all your support. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification buttons so that you can receive, or let's put it this way, that you can get all the new content that we post every single week, and to also to ensure that you stay up to date. Please don't forget to get all your other friends, family, and whoever else you know involved, as well as get them into that mood of growing their knowledge in math. Thanks once again. We really do appreciate it, and have a good evening further. Bye-bye.